Welcome to Happy Valley, home of the Penn State Nittany Lions and one of the most passionate fan bases in all of college football. This is one of those benchmark opportunities for both teams, a mid-season top 10 showdown. As we'll see the number 4 team in the country, the Washington Huskies, taking on the 10th-ranked team in the land, the Penn State Nittany Lions. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me. Guys, it's time to get it going. Will kick it away to start us off. He's going to bring it out from deep. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. Challenge this crowd to bring the energy, and I'd say they're doing that. Looking to go up top on first down. Throws to the back. Fires and picked off. And he's going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Nittany Lions.
What a play by the defense, coming out early in the game on the very first drive and setting the tone. Not just forcing a 3-and-out, not just forcing a punt. How about creating a turnover and taking it to the house? Big 6.
And he's got the extra point, and it's 7-0 to start this one. They'll kick it off and send that defense right back out there to try to score again after the pick 6. The ball bounces through the end zone, and it will be a touchback. The Huskies have it back, trying to make this defense bow down to Washington. The big thing now, don't get rattled by that last pick 6, David.
Nah, it was a big mistake. Obviously.
Snags it on the right. Got a lot of running room. He's at the 10. And he strides his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
Yeah, coming into the game, you look at the stats and you say top 10 offense in scoring, so they better be able to create what? Explosive plays. Another explosive plays. They've been doing it all year long. Those plays are backbreakers. Defenses just can't contain this offense.
And the extra point is good. That kind of drive will boost your confidence. One play, hit the big pass, put a touchdown on the board. After that latest answer tied things up, just about set to kick it away again. He'll call for the fair catch here. Quarterback and running back set up in the pistol. Quarterback reacting to what the D is showing. Running behind that left side. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1. It can get pretty wild in the Big 12. Some of these outposts are like snake pits when you have to go on the road. Got to get off to a quick start in conference play.
It is always wacky, Reese. Like, there's always something that happens in the Big 12, and somebody comes out of nowhere in the Big 12 every single year. So starting in conference play, Palmer, these games start to really matter, really add up, and the pressure amplifies.
It's so true, too. When you think about the Big 12 Conference, it just seems like teams get caught sleepwalking. So you've got to start fast. And the challenge, I think, for these coaching staffs, these two teams, every week they've got to have their team ready to go, and it starts today.
When you reach this point of the season, these types of games, top 25 matchups, really determine whether you're going to be a contender.
Yeah, and really show what you're going to be the rest of the season. How are you going to finish strong throughout the season? You know, the first part of the season, now getting to the middle of the season, Palmer, getting a chance to show what you're about so you can finish strong.
It's a resume builder, no doubt about it. And really, there's been so much anticipation building up to this top 25 matchup. So which team can control their emotions, I think, goes a long way in who wins this one. Well, we know this guy is special, and because of that, his quarterback is looking to him on critical down and distances. There on that third down, there was no question. It wouldn't have mattered if he was single covered, double covered, man, zone. That's where he was going with it, and the big-time playmaker outside picks up the first.
Quick strike complete. And they'll finally get him down after a terrific pickup.
I like the running back there on the route and the patience he showed, really setting it up. Got to the defender, was able to put his foot in the ground, get some separation, catch it, and turn upfield for the first.
They'll try it over the left side. And he has a solid game before the defense bottles him up. They say all games count the same, but you get to this portion of the season and a chance to win a top 10 battle like this carries a little extra weight.
And whoever keeps the top 10 number beside their name after this game will have earned it, because these two teams are very talented, David. We're now at the midpoint of the season. We're starting to get an idea of who these teams are. We're going to find out a whole lot more here today.
Yeah, dang right. How much implications down the road does this have? But how about you get an idea of exactly where you stand right in the middle of the season, playoffs down the road, make your statement here today.
The Nittany Lions getting set on 1st and 10.
Get set.
Wide receiver coming across in motion. Leaves it with the back. And they try to run inside, and there is nowhere to go.
Defense is about firing off, hitting the offensive guys and staying in your gaps. Everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw, it's McBride. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be 3rd down.
Doesn't take this defense a lot of time to get to the quarterback, man. They've got speed all over the place. They hit him so quickly, and because of that, the ball falls incomplete.
And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. Here comes the field goal unit as they'll try to get the 3. He'll line it up from 34 yards out. It's good. Easy call for the refs. And with that, they've taken the lead. So after the made field goal, they'll kick it away and rely on their defense. Fair catch called for and made. And Washington is ready to go back on the attack. A quick strike touchdown up top the last time they had it, Jesse. They'd love to do it again.
No doubt. They've got so many playmakers on the perimeter, David. Just find a way to get these guys the ball in space.
And you already started, man. Making that big play, opening up this offense. This quarterback is feeling good about himself. I wouldn't be surprised if they give it right back to him.
Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. He's looking to throw. Unloads to the wideout. A beautifully placed ball to the outside and the toe drag for the big pickup.
Really nice looking pinpoint throw there. And when I think back to Husky QBs, you think about Warren Moon, you think about Mark Brunell, the Heward brothers. What about Jake Browning? all made really good decisions. This guy, he's got a lot of arm talent, but he's also very smart.
And a really nice run and pick up there before the defense avoided disaster and stopped the really big play. It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. He wants to throw. And they couldn't hold off the heat, and he goes down with a sack.
And that is an all-too-familiar sight. Listen, this team won last week, but they gave up 4 sacks. They got to protect this young man early in this game. Don't set the tone, and let's not go back to last week.
The first down sack pushes the ball back for this long second down. He's looking to throw. He's going to let it go. And that ball is hauled in inside the 35.
That's a beautiful pass and catch. I love the job the quarterback does manipulating the defense with his eyes. He froze that safety, and that allowed his receiver more room to work his route.
Fires to the wideout. It's complete. Huge gain before he goes out of bounds, and now they've got it first and goal. How about the mix of play calls on this drive? 3 runs, 3 passes, and now they're in business.
And just keeping the defense completely off balance. When you think it's a run, it's a pass. When you think it's a pass, it's a run. Nice job by this offense, going right down the field in 6 plays, and now set up for first and goal.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job increasing it. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly, and that's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm right now.
On second down, he'll fire. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13.
Man, Penn State is known for its defense, right? Tough, physical, they can stop the run, and they can get after the quarterback, and they do it from the linebacker position. You think about the legacy this school has had at that spot. This guy right here, he fits into exactly what they want a linebacker to be, and the ability to get after the QB is a big part of it.
It falls incomplete. He was trying to find his man for 6. And now on 4th down, they'll try a field goal. Oh, that one will leave a mark. No good. And after the miss, they're still down by a field goal. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. They've got the lead here. Last time they settled for a field goal, but they've got to find that balance between being aggressive and careful.
And I think they'll take that. I got the lead, Palmer. I got the football. I got to take care of the football, put a nice drive together, and just get some kind of points on this drive.
No doubt. Lots to be happy about right now if you're this team. I think for this one, though, on this drive, it's about finding the one-on-one matchups that are in your favor and then exploiting them.
Line gets set, first down.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Penn State 10, Washington 7.
Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. On the move. Just willed his way for a couple out to the 35.
You know, I think a big part of this isn't necessarily scoring a touchdown on that play, but you're just trying to get your offensive line in the rhythm of the game. Let those big fellas get lathered up.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Quarterback checking off. Wide out in motion. Dropping back, it's McBride. And And that pressure just engulfed him. A sack for this defense.
And it just doesn't get more dominant than that. One-on-one, me versus you, and there's nothing you can do about it, David. I know that's something you know a lot about based on your time at Georgia.
Man, fly off the edge, beat the man as quick as you can. There's so many things that have to go right for you to get a sack. The ball has to be coming out a little bit later. But you know what? When you win that fast and that clean off the line of scrimmage, that is how it's done at the highest level for that defensive end.
He uncorks one deep. Fires it into traffic, and it's picked off. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception. And the freshman just showed those great ball skills and snatched it right out of the air. The Huskies have it back, trying to make this defense bow down to Washington. You want to talk about taking the wind out of your sails. Drive the ball down the field and miss the field goal, David.
You know what? Don't leave it up to kickers. Execute better offensively. I think you move the ball nice. You got to keep that in mind. But, Palmer, I think you got to stay aggressive and don't settle for field goals.
Yeah, because you got to know there's just no margin for error right now. You just have got to be able to execute at a higher level.
Throws to the wideout. He's got it. And he was loose and in the open field and on his way. A tremendous pickup on that one.
And I love the awareness by the wide receiver on that play because I'm not sure that route was supposed to be that deep. You got to wonder if the receiver decided maybe to adjust the route a little bit to make sure that he got the first down.
They're bringing heat. Forced out of the pocket. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
And they've been waiting for something good to happen with respect to getting after the quarterback, right? They're outside of the top 100 in the country in sacks per game, but finally now you see they're generating this pass rush. 3 sacks on the game so far.
Here he goes breaking the pocket. Throws toward the end zone. And he really wanted to get the touchdown there, but it's incomplete.
Well, the quarterback knew where he wanted to go with the ball. His intended target just wasn't open, so the quarterback made sure he put that football in his hands.
You have to wonder, after missing a field goal on the last drive, how are they going to play this third down? From the gun, wants to pass. Trying to get to it. Rush coming in hot, and they got him at the 29.
They've given up 3 sacks a week ago. Now you've already given up 4 sacks. They're going to find a way to protect their quarterback. Give him a little bit more time.
They'll try to cap off this drive with a field goal. Splits the uprights. It's good. And with the field goal, we're tied here in the second quarter. And we're all square as he's set to kick it away. No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. Boy, they hope this next drive is more productive after throwing a pick last time, Jesse.
Yeah, and the coaches did a good job on the sideline there, just talking to the young quarterback and making sure he's able to turn the page, calm him down, to go out and refocus this drive.
Yeah, and some people do that better than others, but you got to show some trust in him. Maybe get the ground game going, help around him a little bit with this system.
Motion from the offense. Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. Open runway ahead. Ripped off a huge chunk play on that one as he gets the first down before he steps out of bounds.
And you see so many of these plays now in today's football. Wide receiver coming in motion, and the quarterback catches it, just flips it forward. That's a completed pass. You see the big plays where it just lets him get on the edge really, really quickly. And if he drops the football coming in motion, it's just an incomplete pass. So these plays are getting big plays with really no risk.
Trucks through the defender. That run epitomizes a veteran, savvy senior who knows how to find space.
All right, well, look, I know the defense was feeling real good about their run D coming into this one and how they've been playing up to this point, but finally, David, the offense breaks through and they finally generate something positive on the ground.
And I can't tell you how easy it is. When you're going to throw the ball consistently, and I know it, I'm going to pin my ears back, and I'm going to get to the quarterback. It makes life really easy on the defensive line. But when you can have balance, now the defense doesn't know what's coming. They need more of this if they're going to be successful on offense.
Going to work on second down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. The RPO fires complete to the left. They get it down to the 7 on that pass play in prime position for a score. That throw and catch, a really good example of why coaches don't want a quarterback to get stuck on a particular target, isn't it, Dave?
Yep, that's exactly right. Find the guy who's open, because you got so many guys that have so much speed that can do so much damage on the field. Find my matchup, get it to him, let him do the rest.
It's third down now, and they ought to be able to get off one more play before the 2-minute warning. They'll try to run for it. And the defense had its hands full, but they finally wrestle him down short of the first down. Here comes the field goal unit. And he'll try to knock through a short one, his second of the day, this one from 23. And the kicker delivers the 3 ball to finish off the drive. And they go back on top. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Gentlemen, it has gone final in that top 25 matchup we've been keeping a close eye on. Syracuse is going to enjoy the trip back to Central New York after a rock-solid performance. And you take care of business on the road, and you stack wins there inside the dome, and suddenly it's quite the resume. A top 25 clash and an impressive showing that could be a huge confidence builder for this program. Back to you.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense.
And a running back who can take a dump-off pass like that and take it for a gain, that can really be a quarterback's best friend. It's an easy way to rack up touches, but also get the ball to your playmaker in open space.
Keeps looking downfield. From the comfort of the pocket, he fires it to the right. And he gets a big chunk of yardage to the 34-yard line.
This defensive line has got to do a better job getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. You cannot allow this QB to scan the entire field and have all day to throw. Look, I know this quarterback's good, but this defense right now is making him look like the Heisman winner.
Unloads to the wideout. Tip ball, put it up for grabs, and I thought he had it, but somehow it slithered through his fingers.
Defense were always trying to get some tips, break on the football, get a tip, get it up in the air. Nice job by the player breaking on the football and forcing the incompletion.
Here comes the offense on second down. Wide receiver now comes in motion. Trying to get the edge with a quick touch pass. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down.
I love that play call, and I love the timing of the pre-snap motion. Because the quarterback was able to get it to the receiver right behind the offensive line, because of the timing, he was able to outflank the defense. That puts him out in space where he's able to use his speed. Nice job with the pre-snap motion and timing.
Back to the air one more time. The freshman able to get home with the sack.
What a great job by this defense setting the tone early. In the first half, they've been hitting the quarterback early and often. Make him feel uncomfortable. Make him feel that pressure. Keep getting him on the ground. That's why they've built a lead.
They've already racked up big sack numbers. It's starting to snowball, and they are ready to go again. Dumps it to the back. On target. And they finally haul him down, but not before the good catch and run.
Man, this quarterback is having a first half. He's over 200 yards already. heating up, setting up. Dude, this dude might break his career high in passing. I don't know what it is. Somebody get stats for me.
This offense can get a jolt of momentum headed to the locker room if. And he takes it to the house. Touchdown, Huskies.
And that is exactly what you want from your offense. Man, late in the half, you want to execute and then punch it in physically on the ground, take the lead going into the half, take all the momentum. Nice execution on the drive by that offense.
So they got the touchdown, now going to put it in the hands of their defense to finish off this half.
Penn State, 13.
Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. So late in the half, this is really an opportunity, David, maybe to swing the momentum in their favor.
Dang right. There's no time to be concerned. If we're a little bit down, listen.
Hit the gas, kid. Wide open ahead. Big gain on that one as he steps out of bounds with a first down.
Well, after that last play, you can see how electrifying this guy is and how special he is after he makes the catch. If I'm on offense, I'm trying to find a lot of ways to get him touches in this game.
Touch pass on the jet sweep. Headed to the end zone, and he will take it in. Touchdown, Penn State!
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I tell you what, keep that passing game up, keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. What a display of explosive capabilities on that drive. 75 yards, 2 plays, and a touchdown. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. And Washington is ready to go back on the attack. Now they're backed up here, Jesse. Wonder how aggressive they're willing to be.
I think it's going to come down to how much confidence they have in this quarterback and his decision-making, because you cannot throw an interception at this part of the field with this little time left.
And I think that's conversations you've had with the young fella on the sidelines, being like, what are you comfortable with right here that we can run? Maybe stay aggressive, but make sure I don't make that mistake.
Now on first down from the 30. These DBs going to give a little cushion. They'll throw it on first down. Fires to the wideout. Wide open downfield. And he almost ran away from everybody on that one. A huge pickup on that play. A timeout is called as this offense tries to find a way to get more points on the board before the half. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. He wants to take the top off. Grabs it inside the 10. They make the tackle, but he's got a fresh set of downs, and it's first and goal from the 7.
First and goal, Washington.
This will likely be the last play of the half. He's looking to throw. Moving, keeping the eyes downfield. Pass is incomplete, and that's going to do it for the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. Washington ready to kick off to start this second half.
Set to advance on the football.
He'll call for the fair catch here. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. They got plenty done through the air in the first half, and we'll see if they even need to look for balance as we start the third quarter.
Well, and I think defensively, you understand, like the running game isn't a big part of the plan. I wonder how they adjust and play more coverage to this pass-happy offense.
Yeah, so you're going to have to be ready if you're a quarterback, Ben. You're probably going to see some different coverages. You might see a little bit more blitz in the second half as well, so you have to know where your answers are.
Last incompletion leaves them still sitting at their own 25 with 2nd and 10. They'll run it on the counter. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
You see, this is what great defenses do. Great defenses swarm to the football. So when you do miss a tackle, it's not the end of the world. There's another guy right there to wrap him up. Great defenses seem like they got 12 guys on the field. Nice job swarming to the football, engulfing the running back.
Now facing a 3rd and long. Looking for a man. It's McBride. He's got his man. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37.
Defense is about learning the plays. 3rd down, what do they like to do? How do they do it? So far, the offense having a little bit of success, but the defense now, you got to figure out what they're doing.
From the shotgun, the handoff to the back. Stopped at the 47 after a 10-yard gain.
In halftime in this locker room, there was a lot of positive things to talk about. You got the lead. Well, you know what else will be positive, Palmer? Get the running game going early in this second half.
You're absolutely right here, and I think this coaching staff is going to try to put this game on the offensive line a little bit. Let these guys take this thing over, be physical, and push this defense around.
That run epitomizes a veteran, savvy senior who knows how to find space.
Well, right away after picking up the first down, they go right back to their playmaker at running back, and I love the push they got up front, getting a hat on a hat, opening a huge hole for the back.
And you become so hard to defend when you can run the football successfully on first down. You're starting like that. Now what opens up? Play action. Now you're making me play pass and run. This offense, if they can create that run physicality,
and he's running in the open. And he was loose and in the open field and on his way. A tremendous pickup on that one.
What a run, man. I tell you what, it's hard to pop runs. It's hard to get 3, 4, 5, 6 yards a lot of times. But when you got backs like this who can make huge plays with the speed, getting out in the open field, can take it the distance on every play, defenses are scared out of their mind.
To the ground with the back. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
And defense nowadays, they don't look at stats of what is the yards per rush. They look at how many negative plays they can create. Because why? Now you look at second down, man, it just became very predictable for this offense. Nice job creating the loss on first down.
Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. The give to the tailback. Pulled down after picking up 5 to the 6-yard line.
Love the push by the offensive line on that RPO play. Look how they just work the single teams and the double teams. You see linemen chipping off of their guys and climbing into the second level and getting a hat on the linebacker. That's why those types of plays are successful.
They'd love to pick up this third down and get a fresh set with 1st and goal.
Let's go!
Running back goes in motion. Looking for a man. It's McBride. Can't make the grab on 3rd down, and that is a rare drop for this guy.
Well, on 3rd and short and field goal range, they dial up the pass play. Quarterback was trying to get through his progressions. There was just simply nobody open. Couldn't make an accurate enough throw. Ball falls incomplete. Now setting up a big decision here on 4th down.
That thing would have hit a string in the middle of the uprights. Perfect. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Gentlemen, let's take a look at what's happening in this exciting college football game. Nevada is down right now, but this young man under center today has shown some moxie. We could see a legend born today in Reno. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Tulane. We've got our eye on this one and everything else going on throughout the day. Guys?
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. The Huskies have it back, trying to make this defense bow down to Washington. At the 35, he's loose. All kinds of running room. Finally pulled down, but not before moving the chains for a first down.
This guy strikes fears into the hearts of every defensive coordinator, David, with that speed. If you give this guy any open grass, man, he's gone.
It's just silly. Look at the angles, people trying to catch him, but he's got so much juice. He can outrun those angles and make enormous plays.
Off the play fake on first down to throw. Unloads to the wideout. Makes a connection. Touchdown, Washington! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
It's so challenging to stop the middle of the field passes deep down. You stretch me in these zones. I got to run with you in man. It's always a good idea to run those deep posts, and you could tell they saw it all the way. Receiver, quarterback on same page, gets the big touchdown.
Fair catch, called for and made. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. Had to settle for the chip shot field goal last time, Jesse. They'd love for this one to pay off bigger. Going for it all. And it's caught inside the 25. And the tackle is made, but not before. That completion gets them 30+.
What a beautiful throw and catch on this play, and I love the job the receiver did tracking the ball in the air. Nice job of locating the throw and then hauling it in.
Pocket starts to collapse.
Welcome to the frustrating reality of college football. Like, the guy at the quarterback spot, he can just do that. Pull it down, get positive yards, makes the defense have to account for him every single play.
Now on second down. Wide receiver shows motion. From the gun, the ground game. That play just never had a chance. They knock him down for a loss of 5.
Well, they're trying to get that run play going to the outside, but it's the defensive end who does a great job winning his one-on-one and forcing the negative play.
They've moved it to the 25, but now facing a 3rd and long. Receivers telling the quarterback what they see. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. Ball into the end zone, and it's intercepted. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
Well, the defense was expecting pass on that one. 3rd and long, they dial up the perfect coverage and a great job in the back end, reading and reacting to the quarterback when the ball was in the air, coming away with a massive interception.
Getting some heat. Takes a hit as he fires. Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
Well, the offensive line has got to give him at least a little bit of time to survey the field. He had no chance that time, getting hit almost immediately after he got the ball.
This time it's complete. They make the stop after the catch and still some work to do to pick up that first down.
The defense has their hands full trying to stop this guy in the slot. They're going to have to figure something out to bracket him, try and get 2 bodies around him, maybe get some safety help as well, because right now they do not have the answer for this guy.
It'll be a first down as he gets it to the 24-yard line.
At the 24. That's a first down for the offense. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, Washington 24, Penn State 23.
Washington has it and a fresh set of downs. Trying to find his man on first down. Using the quick game. And he'll pick up the first down, but he got drilled on that tackle.
This receiver is such a weapon, and he has so much speed, and he can generate explosive plays for your offense, not just running go routes and post routes, but how about throwing him the drag, letting him catch it, and use his speed to turn it upfield.
This Washington offense moving quickly down the field. Comes out throwing on first down. Quick completion on the out. And he'll step across the sidelines after making a good gain on that one.
Guys at the backfield now, it's not just run the ball down the middle anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football, and you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on it.
He's back to throw on second down. Fires to the wideout. It's caught downfield. Running toward the tape. He'll be brought down at the 3-yard line. An explosive play in the passing game has him on the doorstep.
What a great play call offensively. Taking the shot, you flip the field, and now you better get those red zone play calls ready and dialed up.
And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Husky. Man, is that dude fast. It is easy to see how this position is evolving more and more to have elite athletes and elite throwers.
Reese, you say easy, I say annoying. Take about the defensive perspective. I got to guard the running back running. I got to guard the wide receivers. Oh, and now the quarterback's going to run? Well, here, you take the playbook and stop it.
No return coming. He'll call for the fair catch. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. Boy, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the football, you're going to throw interceptions. But I think I stay aggressive with this offense. I get back to what I did in the first part of that drive that made me successful.
I agree, David. Just turn the page if you're a quarterback, right? On this drive, you did a lot of good things there leading up to that pick. Forget about it, move on, play the next play.
Off the play fake on first down. Throws to the wideout. It's caught. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down.
It's hard for an offense to win when you get in predictable situations. What a great job understanding where the first down marker is. Got to get a big gain. Got to get that first down. Nice job. Great nose for the first down.
Looking to pass. It's McBride. The throw. Firing to the right, complete. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a first down.
Great job by the quarterback thrown against zone coverage. You cannot telegraph where you're throwing the football. You cannot eyeball wide receivers. So great job by the quarterback using his eyes, not staring down his guy, and then throwing him open.
Quick pass on the jet motion. And a pickup of 8 opens a world of opportunities on 2nd and 2.
And that play is essentially like a jet sweep, right? This offense is going to run the football conventionally. They'll do it between the tackles. They'll do it outside. But there's a lot of different creative ways they can get their playmakers the football in the running game. And I think that was an example of what you saw right there.
He's brought down, but he's got him inside the 10. First and goal from the 8. He let the thing fly quickly, but he couldn't make the connection. Threw a pick last time, almost threw another one, but you know what? I like the fact that this dude has no conscience.
None. Arm arrogance, right? He's going to spin the football, try to make plays. Like, listen, take the good with the bad, right? He's going to make some plays. He's going to get...
Touchdown, Nittany Lions! And they take it in for 6 more points.
That's number 2 on the day, having a day. I mean, you know he's going to catch the football, and you know he's going to make plays after he catches. Those are the kind of guys that you feature, and you find them, and they produce like this, you keep finding them.
After the score. They need this two-point conversion to tie. Looking downfield, it's McBride. Still looking, on the move. And this one's not working. He'll just throw it away.
Great play by the defense there. You're winning by 2. You can't allow them to tie it. Someone's got to make a play, and they show up in a big moment.
29.
That ball skips through the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 25-yard line. And Washington is ready to go back on the attack. Fast motion from the offense. The handoff, keep working on that clock. And they try the middle of this stout defense, and they rise to the challenge.
I know exactly what I have to do here. Defensively, we've got to get the stop. So we're playing run. We're selling out to run because we're thinking they're going to run the football, and we got 3 timeouts. Let's use them wisely. Let's use those timeouts, save as much clock as we can.
And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15.
If your job is to irritate, to confuse, to hit, to make quarterbacks feel very uncomfortable, this defense is definitely doing their job. 6 sacks, that's the way to make the quarterback feel like he's having a hard day. He's had no response. This offensive line has no response, just a sack party.
Unloads to the wideout. Complete to the left. Oh, look out, there he goes. The 20. And he got away from the defense and takes it in. Touchdown, Huskies. That's his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. The defense has no clue how to respond right now.
No, and the defense has had absolutely no answer. He's been on the money. He's been on fire, making the right decisions and just carving this defense up.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. Georgia Southern is currently trailing in this one, but it feels like the tide may be turning. This program has picked itself up before, and it's capable of it again today. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to Middle Tennessee. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected. Fellas?
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. Man, what a drive last time for the touchdown. That passing attack was lethal, David.
Yeah, and you know, you hear all these stupid commentators like me and Jesse talking about create balance. You run and pass. No, when you throw that good, spin the ball around.
So the defense has to find a way to affect the quarterback on this drive because last drive he had way too much time to throw.
And here comes the offense on 2nd down. Hard running there. He's run out of bounds, but not before turning in a big pickup and moving the sticks for a 1st down.
No surprise. I mean, with the way they're running the ball early in this game, they're just going to keep doing it. And they're just not hammering out 2, 3, 4-yard gains. They're gashing this defense. You saw it right there.
And he'll find enough running room to get it just short of midfield at the 49.
You want to talk about making it easy for an offensive coordinator. You pick up a bunch of yards on 1st down, make that 2nd down really, really manageable. That's a great job by the offense.
Wide receiver coming across in motion. Touch pass on the jet sweep. Dragged down at the 46 after a pickup of 5 and the 1st down. We hit the 2-minute warning, and this offense is desperate to make something happen and do it in a hurry. The Nittany Lions come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Use the play fake, now to throw. And they got him for the sack.
A loss of 11 on the play. 2nd down coming up.
Ready?
Now the offense has to overcome the negative play after the defense comes up with a sack. They'll run play action. Quarterback floating away from pressure.
He does a really good job here. You want to get a huge play. You got to push the ball down the field. You need a bunch of yards. But wait a minute. Now he can just tuck it, scramble, go get you a bunch of yards. Now put you in a great third down situation. Real heads-up play by the quarterback.
Third down conversions are a huge stat, and this one would be a doozy if they can pull it off. To the air, it's McBride. Fires to the wideout. A strike downfield. A huge gain on that one before he ran out of bounds, and he has the first down.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the perfect play at the perfect time right there.
The huge play got him on the porch, but now they got to kick in the door. They'll power it inside with the fullback. And this was just a low man wins battle right on the doorstep of the goal line, and the defense comes up with the stop. Can the D deny them on second and goal? Wide out in motion. Quick touch pass to the receiver. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, we've got a chance at a finish.
And listen, still a ways to go. A great job by this offense getting you back in the ball game. Now, we got a one-possession game. We've got our score. We did what we're supposed to do. Now, how do we get this stop? Now, the defense has to come up big and get me the rock back.
Time is of the essence. Just under a minute to go as they line up for the onside kick. Cool as a cucumber as the hands team makes a sure catch.
Yeah, and this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time when you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
They'll give it to the back. And how about the efficiency on that one? It'll bring up 2nd and 4. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. On 2nd down, let's see if they go right back to the run and put this game on ice. He's looking to throw. He makes the connection. Oh, that move is going to leave them dizzy. That big pickup on what they call the drag route, but if you hit it on time, you can hit the turbo booster.
And you've got to be accurate on the throw too, Reese. Nice job by the QB there, putting it out in front of his receiver to make an easy catch and then advancing.
Really nice stop there from this senior leader. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. A little pre-snap eye candy for the defense. Quick pass on the fly motion. And they'll stop him after a minimal pickup. The defense will take a timeout, 25 seconds left to play. The terrain gets rough this deep in the red zone. 3rd down, they can pick up the first without scoring. It's a reverse. He just never got started going forward. A huge loss of 8 on the play.
What a great job by the backside of the defense staying home. A lot of time the run looks like it's going the other direction. What happens? You start to chase. Nope. These guys stayed home and played their assignment, and that's why they had success.
And the kicker delivers the 3 to salvage that drive. After putting a field goal on the board, they'll line up for the onside kick. Oh, look what I found. The offense keeps it.
Well, here in the fourth quarter, they were obviously expecting onside kick. They got their hands team on the field. They're able to jump on the ball and make sure they get possession.
They've got to move quickly here. Still a chance, but they've got to force the ball down the field. To the air on first down. Here's a throw downfield late. And it's incomplete into the end zone, and that's going to do it. That puts a wrap on this one. After the stumble earlier this year, a lot of people wrote this team off. People might be searching for spots on the bandwagon again now.
Yeah, give this coaching staff a lot of credit too, Reese, because they made a few tweaks and adjustments schematically to their personnel as well, and they've really now seemed to find a nice rhythm.
And it's hard to find that early in the season, but the good teams figure out who they are, what they do well, and you can tell they're starting to get in a groove, figure out who does what well, and maximize that and accentuate that.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.